Gaudapada. In this stanza, we are for the first time coming in contact with the glosser and his contribution in describing and explaining towards the highly packed and fully pregnant scriptural text. Till now, we have been discussing the first 6 mantras of this great scriptural textbook of 12 mantras. After describing the 6th here, the glosser is entering the stage to give us the summary of the main points of deep significance which the mantras have hinted at. You want to continue?
Yeah, we can, but just remember, there were only 12 shlokas. We have already finished 6.
Yeah.
Half of the Upanishad is over. So we need to completely get grasp of it if we want to move further.
This? If 6 have finished, what is this?
So this is Karika, because ये वो बोला ना इतना power packed है because हम लोग को लगता है कि वो हाँ हम लोग को समझ में आ गया, नहीं अभी कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, अभी वो बताएगा क्या क्या, because अभी वो एकदम से अंदर बराबर हो जाना चाहिए, जम जाना चाहिए हमारे सब चीज में. अभी हमें ऊपर से पढ़ा है, so it takes time for it to sink in.
And everybody's sinking in period is different.
Yeah, and we have to repeat it many times, the same thing, then it sinks in.
Yeah.
Go ahead, read 1 or 2 more paragraphs.
The Upanishads are extremely brief, and in our introduction we have already pointed out the particular style adopted by the rishis and in the Hindu scriptures. Because of their brevity for the ordinary folk, they demand a lot of explanations. Since without explanation the scripture would read meaningless and even absurd.
So see, he's already saying that it's so brief that it needs a lot of explanation. Yeah. Do you want to read it?
Yeah. In explaining the function and structure of Karika, we have already explained its differences from Bhashya or commentary. The commentator's object is to give a full-length description and explanation of every word and term in the mantras, the scripture, but a glossator's function is fulfilled if he gives explanations for those terms about which he is primarily concerned. Thus, difficult terms which really need an explanation for an ordinary man to understand the import of the scriptural text are not even touched by Gaudapada. This is no weakness in the glossator if we understand the function of the gloss.
So just stop here for a minute, just so that to clarify. So there are 2 things. One is called the Bhashya. भाष्य में वो उन्होंने कहा है कि because कई शंकराचार्य ने कई भाष्य भी लिखे हैं, where they take the scripture and they go word by word everything. So that is called Bhashya. And glosser is, when he had his own chelas, right? Chelas are also pretty advanced. But then he has to still clarify certain things for him, for those chelas, so that they understand the scripture better. So just take one aspect of it and then go in detail. That's what he's doing in this particular Karika. Karika is the glossary, they call it. So that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. The great Acharya's work is done if we can point out to us the significance of the Shruti's purport that a human being lives his life earning his experiences from moment to moment all along his pilgrimage from the womb to the tomb. There is not a single moment during his existence when he is not coming in contact with the external objects and gaining experiences. The moment the physical structure has ceased earning experiences, we call the body dead.
So let's just
So it's experience in dream, experience, well, we don't have any experience when it's deep sleep.
We have experience. Now tell me what experience you have in the deep sleep. Bliss.
Peace.
Yes. So we are experiencing something.
But we don't know about it.
Exactly.
We only get up.
Does not
refreshed.
matter.
We get refreshed because we have peace, there's no agitation, there's no...
So when
everything is relaxed, from the mind to the body is relaxed. That's why there is peace, otherwise there is no peace.
So when we do wake up, हम बोलते हैं we had a good experience of sleep. Don't we say that?
Yeah, good sleep.
Because somehow we always say experience means something external. But he's saying that's not true. In the dream also you are experiencing things in a different way. And in deep sleep also there's an experience of bliss. You just don't know it. But when you wake up, you get the glimpse of it, feeling of it. We know. Whenever we have a good deep sleep, we know we had it. Because the way how we feel, we can immediately know. Or you say, I did not sleep well last night. That means I did not get enough deep sleep. So these are very subtle things.
Disturbed sleep. We say we had a disturbed sleep.
Yes. So we do experience something. It's something like this. Krishna Bhagavan made a statement, without karma you cannot live. As soon as you have a body, karma starts. So somebody says, oh, I don't want to do anything, I just lay in bed and that means I'm not doing anything. No, he's also doing something because he's being lazy. That's a karma too. Yes. No, really, it is. So not doing something is also a karma. So it's a very technical
Yeah,
thing.
and other people are working around like
And that's worse
they're
than doing
taking-
something.
Yeah, that's a secondary part, but I'm just trying to be the technical word because when he made that statement that we cannot live without karma, from womb to tomb we'll be doing something.
Yeah.
So even sleeping is an action, breathing, there are involuntary actions going on in the body. That's also called an action.
Yeah.
So that's why in this, it's better to understand what technically they mean also. So I think everybody got it clear, right? You want to read one
The
more
Western
paragraph?
philosophers and many of the Indian schools of philosophies plan their thoughts upon one facet of life only, namely the waking state. Life is not constituted merely of waking state world of sense objects. Life means the entire life. It includes and incorporates in itself the waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state of experiences. If we analyze only the waking state world and try to understand the world of objects and our own nature in relation to it, we are only trying to evaluate life by observing it partially. True. Yeah.
So everybody understood this part that he's just saying that
Yeah.
we cannot just say that life is waking state because that's not true. And हम लोग को मालूम है, हम लोग अगर कैलकुलेट करें कि लोग कितने 5 से 8 घंटे सोते हैं, right, life में? What would you say?
In a day?
Yeah, 24 hours में.
Yeah, about 8.
About
5 to 10 hours depending.
and you give
Yeah,
us
5 to 8
about
hours,
4
yeah.
hours.
5 to 8 hours. अगर उसको हम पूरा जोड़ दें
तो कितना सो?
कितना ज़्यादा, तो हमको वो स्टेट का भी बारे में पता होना चाहिए ना क्या हो रहा है. अगर हम खाली वेकिंग स्टेट को ये लाइफ समझ ले तो वी आर मिसिंग आउट ऑन समथिंग बिग.
Because that's what we talk about. Normally we don't talk about dreams and that I slept very well, but waking
We think is
experiences we
everything,
call, yeah.
but he's taking us back.
back.
He's saying,
He's
look,
telling us, yeah.
there is तुम्हारी लाइफ यहाँ नहीं है, ये भी है और उसके आगे कुछ और भी है. He's taking us to a journey. So I think that this is such an important thing because in the West also, everything is about waking state only.
Yeah.
They don't talk about anything. Okay, I can read from now. This thing gets.
Getting cold now. You turn the fan off.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do it from here.
No, I'll get
नहीं मैं कर देती हूँ. कहाँ से करना है?
that remote is
Oh,
live.
remote is over there. Okay, let her finish and come, then I'll start. By considering only one facet of a jewel, no jeweler will evaluate or purchase a great and precious stone. He will have to view the same at all its facets, under all conditions, and in different lights. Similarly, the philosopher who evaluates life in complete detachment must try to observe it from all angles so as to understand life as a whole. He will have to reckon with all its implications so as to understand life as a whole. He will have to reckon with all the fields of experiences and all the states of consciousness through which a man lives during each day of his life. So we already discussed all that, right?
Yeah.
So we have to know all the field of experiences. So we saw 3 field of experiences and all the states of consciousness. So there are deep state, and so there are 3 names and 3 experiences. The Mandukya Upanishads is probably the very first scriptural literature in the world where life has been considered in its totality and after exhaustive observations. The master had come to their conclusions. The glosser is trying to give us the significant conclusion of the great rishis. I'll read one more. In the scripture, we are given so far the total description of the various egos. The ego that functions in us in the waking state is distinctly different from the ego that functions in our dream state and in our deep sleep state. The waker in us is distinctly different from the dreamer and the deep sleeper. Here, in this stanza, the glosser is trying to give us the significance of such an observation, which the great Rishi has so laboriously crystallized for us. The emphasis is in the conclusion of the stanza that it is one alone who is thus known in three states. So we already discussed earlier about that the three states are very distinct, and the entry in it is kind of, once we are this way, then we are no more that. So when the dreamer becomes awaker, when I know I'm awake from the dream, I am awake, and I know that was a dream. And now if I want to go back to it, I cannot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in general I'm talking about, no exception I'm talking about. So, but the conclusion is the most important over here, that he will talk more about it in the other paragraphs, that it is one alone in thus known in three states. So it's the same consciousness, but he has three different experiences. Just like I have many different experiences in a day, but I am the same person. You know, I was at home, then I came here, and I'm sitting here in the class, but I'm the same. So in the same way, but any confusion here?
Yeah.
No? Okay, go ahead.
The idea is the life principle or pure consciousness in us is one and the same, but identifying itself with the physical body, it looks out to be two external objects. When it is aware of the world outside, the condition is termed as the waking state. When the same consciousness principle in us, detaching from the physical structure, identifies itself with the mind and intellect, it becomes the dreamer. The dreaming its own world and mental impressions, which has certainly no relationship with or reference to the world outside. The same consciousness, again withdrawing entirely from the physical body and the subtle body, identifies itself with the causal sheath.
Causal, this is causal.
Causal sheath, and becomes the deep sleeper and enjoys the state of philosophical consciousness called deep sleep.
So let's stop here because this paragraph has a lot of different things. Do you want to explain, or you want me to explain, or?
No, you explain.
So here he's talking about detaching from the physical structure. We are in, I think you were absent in one of the classes where how when we are dreaming, our physical body is not available to us.
नहीं, पर ये ग्रामर सब किया हुआ है ना भगवान के साथ.
हाँ. So then, so ये हो गया. And then I wanted to talk about this part. That when he says which has no relationship with or reference to the outside world. So why do you think that now?
No,
on one hand,
I would say they does
exactly.
have,
On
yeah.
one hand, you think you do, but I'll tell you in what context he's saying we don't. Suppose that I have a life outside, right, in the waking state. In my dream, I dream something crazy, that I've become a beggar or something, and I'm, all of a sudden I lost everything. That's what I'm dreaming, and I'm staying in my bed and dreaming that, and then I get so scared and I wake up and oh my God, I'm not. The word gaya na beggar to it was, or ulta, a beggar dreams that he's a king. Okay, all of a sudden he thinks he's ruling the world in the dream, and then he wakes up, oh my God, I'm still a beggar. That's why it said there is no relationship. Or I have committed a murder in my dream, and they are going to hang me. And I wake up and I say, oh my God, thank God, it was just a dream.
I was dreaming flying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have wings when you wake up. Exactly. That context is saying it had no relationship. And that's why they say, now coming back to your thing, when you wake up to that higher consciousness, like the Sthita Prajna does, he thinks that this world has nothing.
The best part is when you, when you come into real contact with a realized person, एक तरफ तो वर्ल्ड उसके लिए कुछ भी नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, उसके लिए एकदम bliss. And yet, when devotees will come and say, भगवान मेरा फैक्ट्री बंद है, मेरे को ये है, मेरे को वो है, तो just to make you rise from that position, he will give you some yukti also.
Of course.
और उठा देगा.
Yukti means some kind of a tips.
कितना उसको
Compassion
कितना
है उसको.
पार है और कितना compassion है और कितना उसको total control.
अच्छा क्यों है सोचो.
You know, total control.
Coming back to the Vedanta, why does he feel that way?
Because he's awake.
No, he has the oneness. He realizes it's like if my body has like I got this burn now a couple of days ago. It's my own body, so I'm constantly like, हाँ ये जल्दी ठीक हो जाए, right? तो उसको लगता है इतने सारे बेचारे बीमार लोग mentally मतलब delusion में है, उनको मैं ठीक कर दूँ. लेकिन अगर उनको जाके ये बोलेगा वो सीधा वेदांता पढ़ाना शुरू कर देगा तो सब भाग जाएंगे.
तो आएगा भी नहीं.
Exactly. तो अगर वो बोलेगा कि भाई मेरे को ये पेन है तो बोलेगा आप बैठ मैं बताता हूँ.
But helping others, he's helping himself.
Itself. There you go.
Because you are one.
Yes. That is there is motivation. You cannot
but. It's both ways. It's both ways. Like a
only
mother
a realized
and child,
person will help you truly.
A mother,
Exactly.
when she helps a
I think you
child,
got it absolutely right. Yeah. If I suppose the other example is I'm doing something and my finger goes into my own eyes. Suppose it goes really badly and my eyes start bleeding. Will I cut off my finger? The same finger goes and massages because there is oneness. That's what the Chinmayanand gave that example. That okay, some people will think, oh ये जो terrorist हैं ये है कितने गंदे लोग हैं इनको तो बस मार ही डालना चाहिए ये और वो बोलेगा नहीं इनको ठीक करो लेके आओ मेरे पास मैं इनको ठीक करता हूँ.
हाँ, उन लोग बोलते हैं
Because it's like he doesn't want to destroy anybody. He wants to fix everything because it's own body.
And it is fixable.
Yes, it is fixable.
Some
too.
gundas, some
Yes.
dakus become very
Exactly.
saints, you know.
So coming back to the thing now, you said ki no relationship. Now you understood why there is no relationship because once you wake up, then you say dream था छोड़ो इसको. And dream का कोई significance भी नहीं है. अगर dream में मैंने कोई पानी गिरा दिया तो क्या सचमुच थोड़ी पानी गिर गया वहाँ पे. That's why they say there is no relationship. Because when I was reading this, I said we have to discuss this part.
But sometimes there could be relationship.
Those are exception, and those are at a different stage.
We always dream about our relatives, father, family, you know, everybody we dream about.
I dreamt about accidents when we were in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
The car skidding and I'm driving. And after a few days, he was driving and the car skidding.
Correct. See, yeah. So that you can call those certain kind of siddhis and all that. But in this when
Like
we are
the
talking
dream
in
is
general,
because in the dream state, no, you're
It's
relaxed,
warning,
and
it's
then
warning,
it's
intuition.
warning.
It's
Yeah,
probably
it's a warning.
intuition. I don't
but
know.
okay, those things are a
different
small
time.
part of your dream. But majority of
Majority,
it, we know
yeah.
that dream में जो भी होता है उसका कोई relationship नहीं है हमारे waking world से. जो mind ने एक story बनाई है ना, वो ठीक है कि जो हमने already impressions
Exceptions out
है.
of that, for 5-10% exceptions of dream.
We are not talking about exceptions. We are talking about in general the dream में जो हो रहा है उससे हमारा संबंध उसका affect नहीं होता है हमको real life में, because हम उल जलूल कुछ भी सोच करते हैं and then नहीं होता है. And the reason we want to understand this because to understand that higher relationship, it's the same kind of mechanism. कि भाई जो people awake हो जाते हैं to higher consciousness, उनके लिए ये दुनिया में मतलब उनको जो भी मिले वो dreamy है. There is one beautiful saying about the game of chess. They said after the game, the queen and वो प्यादा क्या बोलते हैं उसको इंग्लिश में, वो छोटे वाले जो होते हैं pawns and the queen and the king, they all go in the same box.
That's very good.
I absolutely love.
So we are like in a box. Big
Yes,
box.
but that is just a saying to say कि भाई don't have a big ego about मैंने ये accomplish कर दिया. अरे spiritual
They
life
go
में
to
क्या
the
क्या
same
accomplish
home.
that what is
They are
going
in
to
the same
come.
home. This is like a big home. We are all the same.
Yes. So I love that saying. Okay, fine. All right, whose turn is to read?
Yours, no.
No, I already did.
No, did you read?
I finished. We're going like this now. You
No, I did. Then she did. and
Okay,
then
you
she-
did only one paragraph.
Are you dreaming?
Okay, I did. Not, so,
Shireen did, no? I did and then you did.
okay, fine. I'll read one more. Doesn't matter. Thus, in our own different identifications, we experience as though we are each in ourselves three distinct personality in us. In fact, it is intellectually acceptable that the truth behind the three, the vital factor behind the three, the life principle presiding over the three fields of experience is one and the same, the I idea. So he's saying ऐसे लग रहा है कि तीन different हैं मगर सब कुछ experience मुझे ही हो रहा है. I am the one who can say I was dreaming, I was sleeping and I'm awake. So that I factor is the same. Okay, read further.
Then
Yes.
This
only
is
one
my
line.
turn.
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah, this is no mere theory. It is something which can be experienced. It is not a call to a blind faith. It is, in fact, a declaration and a challenge for the intellect. The Hindu scripture does not appall the folks who are blindly
Applaud.
applaud the folks who are blindly following a faith, but invites and insists upon the devotees to make use of the pure intellectual reasoning and thus earn a personal conviction.